Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our inaugural episode of Pop Culture Showdown. Watch out, because you could be next. And we're back. Today's episode, we're going to talk about a few things. First of which is going to be the difference between canon comic books and the storyline and their contrast between the movie adaptation. Am I saying that right? Adaptation? You know. Regardless, you know what we want to do. We're going to take it over to Brian so he can go ahead and give you the lowdown on what's really going on with these comic book stories.
Appreciate it, bro. Yeah, so basically what we want to do is just kind of talk a little bit about the differences between the adaptations and the original source material. So I know right now with this conversation we're going to talk about Civil War. So the film Civil War came out in 2016. The comic book run, which I believe was written by Mark Miller in around 2006, 2007. So I know one of the biggest differences between the two was the inciting incident, and I know Simon, you had some information about that inciting incident.
Yes, I've done a little bit of research yesterday, and unlike the movie, the Civil War actually started off by a group of mutants called the New Warriors, who were killed in an explosion along with 600 civilians. And because of this, a political reaction was triggered that brought about the act to put a leash on superheroes, or the Superhero Registration Act, as it's called in the comic books.
Yeah,
I mean, that's accurate. The only difference is in the movie, they had Scarlet Witch was trying to contain an explosion because Crossbones was had a suicide bomb on him. And in her desperation, she trying to contain him in a bubble, but it was too strong, and then she ended up accidentally blowing up some civilians. The explosion was still contained, but still people died, and which also caused, the introduction of Black Panther, because Wakandan, it was an embassy, and a lot of the Wakandans lost some of their lives, which caused, the registration to happen in the first place.
Good point.
Yeah, the thing that I like about the movie version is how it really just kind of references everything that came before it, unlike the comics where you would have that one inciting incident that happened with the mutants, whereas, like you were saying, in the overall cinematic universe, you had that incident with Scarlet Witch that happened in, I believe it was in Lagos in Africa, and then what happened at the embassy. But you have the Sokovia Accords, which basically is kind of continuing the story from Age of Ultron, with everything that happened in Sokovia, which made Thunderbolt Ross enact that the Sokovia Accords, which in essence is kind of similar in the comics to the Superhero Registration Act.
Yeah.
So but why do you think they have to do it that way in the comic books, as far as where, they give you a whole storyline, but then in the movies, they have to cut things out and make up other storylines? Do you think they do that because of the time, or do you think they want to just draw a whole different story?
Well, I think that factors of time constrictions, because for the most part, people want to get in the movie 2 hours max, maybe a little bit more, and enjoy the rest of their day. They don't want to sit there for 4 hours and watch an epic like Lord of the Rings or something like that. But some people do, which is why they release cuts after the fact of the post-release, like DVD or streaming now.
So you guys, would you say you're fans of these adjustments, or would you want them to keep it, canon?
I would try to keep it as canon as possible. I do know adjustments have to be made, but a lot of times I wasn't a fan of the whole overarching change to Civil War, just because Marvel Studios didn't have access at the time to characters like the X-Men, characters like Fantastic Four, including their villains. That's in their whole library. So it left out a lot of key plot points, and cool things would have included. It would have been nice to see Wolverine fight Iron Man, or some of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, long at all.
Because if I'm not mistaken, a couple of Fantastic Four, even they split apart within each other. I think the Thing joins Captain America, and Reed Richards sides with Iron Man. Yeah. So that would have made it for an interesting dynamic.
Thing would do something like that.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's all about when you're dealing with like certain characters and the rights to these characters as opposed to the comics where you can really just kind of add in all, because really the Civil War comic includes like a vast amount of characters in it.
Yeah.
But you know, when you're looking at the cinematic universe, you're looking at like Spider-Man. Spider-Man is a key character in the comic where his identity is revealed, and he's the one that's kind of struggling to figure out what side. And I think he kind of plays both sides of Iron Man's side and on Captain America's side. But of course, in the film Civil War, Spider-Man is introduced into the cinematic universe in that movie, so you can't really have an identity revealed in that movie, as opposed in the comics where we're already living with that character for a specific an amount of time. So I find that to be interesting, like certain changes like that had to be made with between the movie and the comic run.
I agree with that. To be honest, though, as a huge comic book fan, I mean, I love reading the stories, but for me, I'm the type of guy that'll watch a movie 14 times in a row because I like it. However, if I was to watch a movie and it changed slightly to make the story different, I think that would be a more enjoyable experience for me. So when you think about a comic book that I've read and I know the story inside and out, when I go see the movie, I actually do enjoy that there are differences. I mean, I don't want to be like, you know, surprised with some completely different storyline, but it's just different things happening to keep me involved. I don't want to be like, watch what's about to happen. Like, you know, I know everything. So I enjoy it being different. You know, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree as well. I do like it when Hollywood kind of takes a storyline and does like a fresh spin on it and kind of makes it original. But at the same time, like when you talked about how in Civil War Spider-Man kind of struggles with his identity, I actually didn't know that, and now looking back, I would have loved to see that aspect in the movie. So I feel like I do love, and directors should incorporate some of the aspects from the comic book storylines into the movies. Where also at the same time, I do like it when directors have an original take on certain storylines, because like you said, it can be unexpected. In a good way, and sometimes it can be in a bad way as well.
Not to cut your wisdom, I'm glad you touched on that. In a minute, we're about to go away. We're going to talk about a few other things. I definitely want to do our fantasy death match, and I wish we had a couple of characters from the storyline lined up. But we're going to have to talk about that when we come back. In the meantime, Ryan, any words?
No, I will have to say, for me personally, if we're talking about compare and contrast, I'm a movie fan, so I like Civil War, the film.
Hold that thought. We'll be right back.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for help with food, healthcare, and other resources.
211, how can I help you?
Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211. Get connected, get help.
And we're back. And right now is the moment we've all been waiting for. We're going to show you exactly who's on the chopping block, who gets knocked off, who gets knocked out, who's no competition, and we're going to bring forth all this evidence through this crazy conversation we're about to have. Brian, you think that the Ninja Turtles can stand a chance against the epic Daredevil?
Yes, absolutely. Well, first of all, they outnumber Daredevil.
They can jump him.
But let's look at this a little bit.
Monkey to him.
Let's look at this a little bit differently. Let's do a one-on-one matchup. Let's go with each turtle.
Make it fast, though. Make it fast.
Let's start with Leo versus Daredevil. So Leo got the katana swords.
Okay.
First of all, I know you're a boxing fan. The katana swords, he got the longer reach. End the discussion.
Good point.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, I hear you, right? But did the same 4 Ninja Turtles did outnumber Shredder too, right? Yeah. Shredder mopped them up. They had to wait for Max and Splinter to come.
So are you comparing Shredder to Daredevil?
Man, I think Daredevil would crush Shredder. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. I think, you know.
All right.
But I remember, if I'm mistaken, they got mopped up. You know what I'm saying? They got mopped up 4 deep, and they had to get a 5th man.
The only thing I would give to Daredevil is the experience, because you're dealing with teenagers here. You're dealing with teenagers.
The man can see people from breathing. Like, come Come on now. There's no way you can see him.
I will give you that.
He runs up on crowds of people daily and punishes them like at will. Can't even see. Like, you know what I'm saying? Well, we're gonna skip it to the next fight. Mr. Simon, who was your battle of choice? Who was your fantasy battle this time?
My fantasy battle would be Wolverine versus Hulk. Two guys who have brute strength, are aggressive, and just completely just out of control. And I feel like that would be the ultimate matchup in my eyes. And in my opinion, I feel like Hulk will win. And actually,
I concur.
You think? Oh, okay.
I concur.
But actually, there was a What If comic where Hulk and Wolverine actually did fight, and Hulk he actually did defeat Wolverine, and he defeated him by they were fighting, and somehow Hulk got Wolverine on his back, and he just Hulk just stomped him and stomped him and stomped him to the point where a bone in Wolverine's neck, even though it was adamantium, it did wind up cracking, and that did break Wolverine's neck, and it did kill him.
Is that cheating a little bit though? Because we know that adamantium and his healing factor, he would be able to heal from that. So, I mean, and then you look at the fact that Wolverine, when he goes full like berserker mode.
I mean, but look,
Hulk can go berserker mode too now.
There is a comic book where Wolverine's hand was severed, never healed from that. And if I'm the Hulk, I mean, be honest, man. Let's just be real. We talking about like World Breaker Hulk too. Like I would literally just rip Wolverine's head off. I'd grab you, come here, rip the head off, and that's that.
I don't know.
What
What side are you on?
I don't know. It's like, because the smart thing for him to do, because I know Deadpool did this one time when he killed everyone in the Marvel Universe. He waited for Bruce Banner to come out. He waited for Hulk to like calm down, and then he pulled up on Bruce Banner and cut his head off. And then that was it for Hulk. But then again, that was after he got torn to shreds. So it could go either way for me.
Okay. So that's a toss-up, I guess, but I'm on the side of Hulk on this one. But look, we do have another fight. Now, this is a more realistic fight. Two different worlds. We're talking about Bane, the Savage Life Brainiac Bane. You know what I'm saying? Because Bane was a savage, but he was like super smart against the cunning, creepy crawler Kraven from the Spider-Man comic books. And nobody really knows about Kraven like that, but the people who do know he's not to be played with. What do you think?
I'm just gonna go Bane, because if you can beat Batman, Batman is a Deus Ex Machina. He can basically show up and beat you for whatever reason.
Did you just say he's Ex Machina?
Yes.
He is.
Yes,
So,
he's Deus Ex Machina.
you know
And Bane strategically took him out, because all the adaptations on TV, except maybe The Dark Knight, they just have him as some mindless brute who goes around on steroids beating people up.
But you gotta remember, Batman was old, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like he was fresh Batman.
No, he wasn't. Oh, well, that was in the movie, but in the comics, when he first showed up, he exhausted them. He let all the villains out. He had them fight for weeks, trying to mop up all the villains, and he pulled up on him and broke his back.
But see, that's kind of like cheating, though.
But Bane has the bronze and the brains, and he's very cerebral. So I would give the edge to Bane over Kraven the Hunter. Now, I say that with a caveat that I'm not that familiar with Kraven the Hunter. I do know that he is very cerebral as well, you know, to be able to hunt Spider-Man.
Didn't he beat Spider-Man?
He's beaten Spider-Man before.
And Spider-Man has superhuman strength. I'm sure Spider-Man could deal with Batman.
Kraven has like a serum that he takes to where he gets animalistic type of traits where he can like hunt, and it's like he has a strong sense of smell. He has heightened
We're going to have to
reflexes.
revisit this battle, because now that you're bringing up more about Kraven, see, I didn't know that. See what I'm saying? But I already thought Kraven could beat Bane, even though Bane's my favorite villain of all times. But I think Kraven might give him some go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who was our fourth in X Factor battle?
Last thing, I can't go with Kraven because of that first shawl.
His outfit? No, you can't.
You're not feeling it? You're not feeling the outfit?
That's a whole lion's head, though.
Yeah, I know,
he took a lion and cut his head off and peeled the fur. He didn't even get the skin, the hide. He got the actual, the face and all
that. Then you just
that.
factor in Kraven will probably use spears and knives. And
I ain't never seen nobody take, I mean, if we talking about King Joffy Joe, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't never seen nobody use a lion's face as, you know what I'm saying, as a hoodie. You know what I mean? That was crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, we have run out of time, and we are so glad you've joined us, but wait till our next episode. We're going to talk about all types of stuff.
Jason, let's go see your room.
That's not right. How was it? Good?
Each year, there are more than a dozen significant tropical and winter storms that threaten the East Coast. So chances are there will be more hurricanes and blizzards near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Okay, and like that, we back. Now, we previously were talking about a big fight, and we had to skip that fight because we really want to talk about the battle we've all been waiting for. You heard about the Battle of the Bastards? Well, we're going to talk about the Battle of the Billionaires. Bruce Wayne versus Tony Stark. The Batman versus the Iron Man.
The billionaire playboys.
The billionaire playboys. Simon, since you brought this battle to our attention, what do you think would actually happen in a real fight?
In my opinion, I think I'm going to have to side with Iron Man, just due to the fact that he can, just due to the fact that he can fly and he can kind of stay at a distance and then simply
He can fly.
shoot his laser beams and his chest beam at Batman. So I feel that's really my main reason why, is because he can kind of stay at a distance while he fights Batman.
I have opinions, I have thoughts, but Eric?
Yeah,
My
I do
friend.
too.
9 times out of 10, Batman is beating Iron Man any day of the week. Why, you may ask? It's because he's prepared for almost every situation.
Exactly.
He has contingency plans for the entire Justice League.
Yes.
He can take out Superman. He can take out Flash, Wonder Woman.
That utility belt is crazy. You know what he's pulling out. You see, I got my yellow utility belt on now. Hold on, do y'all see it? You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, Batman will come out of somewhere getting beat on, hit the button in the belt, throw something at you, next thing you know, your whole suit melt. You
then
know,
it's
you gotta,
like-
you know what I'm saying?
It's like, I don't think Iron Man has that sense of he'll do anything by any means necessary. Batman will do that. Batman will pull up with a picture of his mom and be like, remember this. You don't want to do this.
Batman is grimy like that,
Yeah.
though.
Batman
Yeah.
is terrible.
Yeah, he does put, because I'm thinking back to that animated movie Doom. If you've seen that, where he literally like makes a contingency plan for each Justice League member.
Yeah.
So he's very smart and he's very well prepared.
He did put them all on ice, too. Like, man, oh, yeah.
Exactly. So
I got something for that. You
and
fast, huh?
If he did that with Superman and Wonder Woman with like superpower beings, he can do that with a billionaire that has an iron suit. Yeah, the iron suit is kind of like, you know, jacked up and everything.
But you gotta also remember, in Iron Man's defense, I mean, we talking about like billionaire and Brainiac. This is like not like Superman's kind of dumb to me. To be honest with you, I love Superman too. I got the shirt on. Wonder Woman ain't never really been that bright. You know, Flash, he might be a little smart and all that, but we talking about Tony Stark. You know what I'm saying? Like, you remember in the movie where the man would say, Tony Stark built one of these joints in a cave. What did the man say? I'm not Tony Stark.
I'm not Tony. Yeah,
like, I can't do it.
I'm not Tony Stark. I don't know what you want me to do.
Iron Man, he's invincible, man.
That's true.
Remarkable
That's a
armor
good
is
point.
supreme.
Yeah, I mean,
baby.
he's a genius, but Bruce Wayne is smart as well. I mean,
think he's smarter than
I don't think he's smarter than Tony Stark.
He's more of a detective type of smart.
Yeah.
But genius level,
Look,
Cause I feel
Thanos
like-
from a whole nother dimension knows about Iron Man.
Yeah.
When Darkseid came to, or he was like, what?
Yeah.
Who's Batman? Batman couldn't even fight back. He
I
was
will
like,
say Tony could just pull up with several different armors at his arsenal. Say, oh, you got something to stop this base armor? Okay, let me call up Jarvis and send 4 more armor.
Yeah, he called what's his name? Sunday, Friday, whatever.
Friday, yeah.
The new joint.
Friday,
Yeah.
yeah.
Friday be like, Batman got this, that, and the third going on. He like, all right, look, just hover above him right quick. Matter of fact, send an armored suit, grab him, and just take him into space. Don't even stop flying. He'll eventually stop breathing.
But on the flip side of that, Batman probably would have sabotaged all those suits prior to Tony Stark even calling on those suits. So, you know.
The only thing I can say about y'all's point is like in Iron Man 3, when he called out the dude he was fighting, I forgot the dude's name, he was so irrelevant. But they came straight to the house, like immediately. As soon as Iron Man started popping off in the mouth, they came directly like, you send the Addy? As soon as he dropped the
I feel
address.
like if that happens, Batman's pulling up in the Bat plane or something, and he's gonna have Robin, he's gonna have Red Hood, Batgirl, the whole
They gonna be
the whole
deep.
Bat family gonna
So
pull
you
up.
talking about jumping like, Iron Man and Thor are real cool now. You know what I'm saying? Thor
I feel
show
like the
up.
Avengers will be doing their own thing. Who Tony Stark got? Ironheart?
I mean, what's the
Hey.
name? What's the
Oh,
name?
Rhodey, his best friend, War Machine.
War Machine.
Yeah, War Machine.
Well, she was
Yeah.
like that.
But hold up.
Yeah.
Don't front. What's her name is always with him?
Pepper?
Nah, not Pepper. What's her
Rescue?
name? Scarlett Johansson's character.
Oh, Black Widow.
Black
Black Widow
Widow.
ain't worried about him.
But she gonna hold him down if he get jumped. They shoot the bank to him. She gonna come
But what
through.
can Black Widow do against Batman or the Bat family?
She got guns. See, that's one thing about
Red
Batman.
Hood got guns.
Batman don't never get shot, man. One thing about it,
That is true.
In real life, like you notice even in the Dark Knight when Bane came through and they started shooting bullets. You know what I'm saying? Batman and Catwoman dipped. You know, they ain't want none of that. They was like, hey, why they fight, man? Shoot them. What are you talking about? Got the plane, got it. You know what I'm saying? But no, that's a fight we're gonna have to revisit. But when we come back from break, we're gonna have to talk about this other fight.
Okay.
You
Looking
know what
forward
fight I'm
to it.
talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about. And there's a
definitely.
simple answer to that one too.
All right,
Right.
well, we'll
There's
see.
no simple answer.
We will see.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Here are AARP top tips on caregiver preparedness during coronavirus. Form a team that can help with caregiving tasks. Take an inventory of essential supplies in your loved one's home. Make a list of the care recipient's medications. Schedule regular calls to fight isolation. Finally, take care of yourself too. Follow the Centers for Disease Control's guidelines for coronavirus safety. For more caregiving tips, go to aarp.org/caregiving.
And like that, we back. Now, before we went to break, we had an epic discussion about the likes of Batman versus Iron Man, and the results of that fight are still up in the air. But we're going to leave that discussion to talk about a bigger battle. I know you're probably asking, how much bigger can it get? But you know where we're going with this. Darkseid versus Thanos, the Titan. I'm sorry, the Mad Titan. Yes.
Thank you. Put some respect on this thing.
Tell him why you mad, son. Tell him why you mad. Gotta tell him why you mad, baby.
Who would you ask some question like that? But
I
I believe that Darkseid would completely wash Thanos, even with the Infinity Gauntlet. Because even without the Infinity Gauntlet, he's getting beaten. He's getting beaten. Don't be fooled by what you see in the movies, okay? Thor and Hulk would beat him without the Infinity Gauntlet. Because in the movie, we saw how quickly Thanos just dispatched Hulk and Thor.
That's very true.
But the thing about Darkseid is he's a new god. New gods are some of the most powerful beings in DC universe, right? That aren't like entities or whatever. Darkseid has a whole planet on his back, a whole army. His Omega beams are literally undodgeable. The only person who have dodged them is Batman. And when he did get hit,
The Batman.
yeah, of course. That's what. And this is the same guy who y'all say can be Iron Man, who won't be Iron Man. But his Omega beams are so broken, they can transport you into another dimension, erase you from existence, all that, the whole nine. On top of that, think about this. Darkseid alone has to be stopped by not just the Justice League, which could consist of 10 to 20 people, but the Teen Titans, the Justice League of America, and sometimes even Superman can't even fight him toe-to-toe. And we all know how broken Superman is.
Yeah, I agree with you. Superman is broken. I do think the Justice League, whatever. But you're not really impressing me with Darkseid. Like his track record ain't that great, man. Like as far as I can see, he be getting punished every time. His squad be getting punished. Like he ain't got like the same people that Thanos got, man. Thanos got
Black
kids.
Order?
He got kids that'll probably whoop him. He got 2 daughters that'll probably whoop Darkseid. You know what I'm saying? First of all,
no.
they go around the galaxy killing people. Then you got, Thanos did throw a moon at somebody. And now that I think about it, I've seen multiple comic books where Thanos is like no gauntlet or nothing. He's grabbing Hulk by the face, kicking him all in his back, throwing him up the street. Silver Surfer be getting washed. Thor, Thor for real, unless certain aspects are in play, Thor is a joke. He's an alcoholic. He be getting beat up by people that you don't even see in the comic books. He gets beat up by I think he got, back when you get backhanded by somebody, that's saying a lot. But I remember Apocalypse backhanded him, so he don't even count. You know what I'm saying? Who'd you ever see wash Thanos in the Marvel comics? No.
I'm sure the Guardians have beaten him too.
When? Give me some examples. I've never seen this.
I'd have to check some sources.
Yeah, you got to check some. So you got in the archives. Brian, I know you know what I'm talking about.
Now, look, I don't have a dog in this fight because I don't know much about Darkseid, but I will say this, that Eric has convinced me that I think Darkseid could whip Thanos. But what versions are we talking about here? Because you're bringing up references from the films.
No, I'm not. I'm bringing up references from the comic book.
Okay.
You see, back to touch about the adaptations and all that. For real, I know that the whole Gauntlet saga was over a woman. You know what I mean? And before he got the Gauntlet, he was already mopping people up. He got the Gauntlet just so he can erase half the universe in one time. However, if he wanted to go from planet to planet and do it himself, he could easily do it. When he fought Galactus, punished him. When he fought Adam Warlock, super powerful guy, punished him. When he fights Silver Surfer on a constant basis for some reason, he dogs him. Matter of fact, you've heard of Maestro, the strongest version of Hulk?
Yes.
Look at the comics. This is a Thanos pet. He has a leash around his neck, foot on his head, making him eat out of a dog bowl. This is in the comic book. This is canon.
Wow,
you can't beat Thanos. I'm telling you, man. Look at that chin. You know what I'm saying? Look at that chin. You can't see this, man.
I don't know. Simon, what do you think?
I'm going to have to go with Thanos on this one.
Give me some
man.
Thanos love.
Because I just feel like
Thanos, baby.
without the Infinity Gauntlet, he's already so strong and powerful. I just feel like with that Infinity Gauntlet, it just gives him a clear advantage with how we can manipulate everything from time to reality, and he throw moons at Iron Man. I won't be surprised if he did that with Darkseid. I'm gonna have to go with Thanos on this one.
Darkseid literally stands there with his hands behind his back, unfazed in every fight as he mops the entire Justice League.
That's because he's fighting
other
people
new
of that
gods.
power level. That's like Mike Tyson, though, bro. When Mike Tyson fight people, everybody got a plan until they get hit. You know what I'm saying? And Thanos come through with that Lennox Lewis. You know what I'm saying?
Darkseid don't really get hit.
Exactly. When he get hit, Thanos gonna hit you.
Because he take him out before he even get to him.
Thanos gonna walk him down.
You got to get to him first.
He gonna walk him down. He can teleport.
With the gauntlet?
No, just period. Thanos can teleport.
Darkseid too. He has boom tubes.
All right, so what he gonna run?
That's right.
Boom tubes.
Boom tubes.
They're
just instant teleportation.
So look, Thanos can do it by himself. And plus, he's one of the probably the top 3 smartest people in the whole Marvel universe. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Thanos got that ability. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you're talking about a dude who's super strong, has fighting capability, can outthink you, will set you up. He's almost like Batman and Iron Man put together with an indestructible body. And he got Lady Death. Well, she ain't really on his side, but you know.
I'm about to say, think about this. All his motivations is over some woman who don't even want him. So
that's because he's ugly.
I mean, Darkseid just wants to take over the world.
Bro, I'm telling you, how many people this ugly can't fight? It's like your only go-to.
Well, you know what I take away? You know what I take away from this whole conversation?
What's that?
Is that Batman is still a beast.
Oh man, you're right. Because you're just the only person I've seen those Omega beams. If you could dodge them, you know what I'm saying, and you know what Batman's catchphrase is, right?
But
because I'm Batman.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. This has been another exciting episode of Pop Culture Showdown. And remember, at any time, you could be next.
You will be next.